All right, a little bit different video this time. Driving away. I'm in Michigan, and I'm checking on a work project. Looked all over, literally, I'm talking about. I looked all over the world to get a really big part made, and couldn't find anybody. Everybody, didn't want to bid the job. So I went back home. Originally from West Michigan, I went back home. I knew I could get the thing made there, and I'm checking up on progress. It's a pretty crazy day today. I'm in a Dodge Durango GT Hemi. But it is all-wheel drive, and that's something we need today. It's what is it? It's 15 degrees outside. We're having a pretty good snowstorm, and this is what we deal with in Michigan. So we're in Michigan here. I came to a SolidWorks users group meeting, and behind me here you can see we're in a junior college basically in Holland, Michigan, and you can see a machine shop through glass here. But this is a pretty well set up machine shop to teach kids what machining looks like. Stocked full of Haas, Bridgeports, and some kind of no-name lathes, but nice stuff and clean. Looks like Gentex is behind kind of funding this whole thing. But way cool. Teaching kids the trades. All right, I'll go ahead and show you the model of what we're working on here. This is a Dome Bogie. It's kind of like a train truck. This here top section right here, this is a weldment, something like 1,700 pounds. And then inside here, there's a shaft. And this shaft, about 6.5 inches in diameter. It's a couple of feet long, 28 inches long, 250 pounds. And it just sort of connects the upper and lower pieces. And you can see inside here, it runs through about 3 pieces of steel. It's all pressed in, 6 thou interference fit. You can see there's wheels that interact. That right there, that is a spherical bearing. And then now we kind of see the end view. There's wheels in there that ride on that train track that you can see right there. So anyway, this is what we're working on. This is big stuff. Okay, so here's a good video showing the scale of this thing. Forklift sitting back there. This weldment is something like 1,700 pounds. So what Jeff is doing now is measuring this bore and making the pin. There's a center pin that goes in there, and that aligns the top weldment to the bottom weldment. It's got a spherical bearing that mounts on it. So that is the shaft for scale. Okay, so Jeff got the big pin off of the lathe, and I'm just in here touching up some bores or some diameters of these shafts to fit better. And we've got the big weldment out. He's picked up the big pin. We've got a bucket here. We're going to wipe this thing off and on the bottom, clean it up, and then set it in the bucket here, and then we're going to fill it full of the cold stuff. So this stuff is really big for Jeff's shop. really big. So we're kind of packed in here. He's got all kinds of work in progress coming in. But we found a little hole. It's, of course, you saw earlier, it's snowing like crazy outside, so we really don't want to open the door for very long. So we're just defined a little workspace here, and the pin is sitting in the bucket. We were kind of afraid to put the cold stuff in the bucket and then lower the pin in because it would flex the bucket and then probably break it. So we're preloading the bucket. We'll pour the stuff in, let it sit for a while, and then we'll lift it out and measure that it actually shrunk. Now it's Greg's turn. Let's see if we can not dump this on ourselves. In my deck shoes. Okay, there we go. I think we probably got enough in there. It's bubbling away, and from the way I understand it, the bubbles will slow down and even stop when the big piece of steel kind of equalizes in temperature, building some sort of an insulation. So we might be running into an issue. It seems that kind of our setup here is boiling off pretty rapidly. So this is kind of last hurrah. We've refilled this thing. We're kind of down to just a little bit left here. So we'll see. We're going to take a temp on it, maybe pull it out, measure it, see where we're at. Okay, so we tried to drop it in. We were about 3 or 4 inches shy of getting it just fully seated. It's been sitting here for over an hour now, and look how frosty the pin is. Like, that's crazy. So we had it cold, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't cold high enough up. Did not seat all the way. So luckily, we're in West Michigan, and we've got an idea. Something that just might work to finish driving that thing in. Okay, Jeff has taken us just across town, 5 minutes away, to a company called Jamesway Tool and Die, and they have a big press. Okay, Dave at Jamesway here has got us unloaded, and we're going to throw it up in the press here. Might be the end right there, to the bottom. So that's a 6.5-inch diameter shaft with 6/1000ths of press. And that guy didn't even slow down. So Dave just lifted it up and Jeff measured. We got about a 1/2 inch to go. Okay, so Dave put a mark right up there at a 1/2 inch. Like it went. Woo! Winner, winner. Yep, mark is gone. Okay, as they're getting this thing out of the press, we're having discussions about why the very top of the shaft up here has lost all of its frost. Is that pressure? 600 tons of pressure causing heat up there? Interesting, anyways. Okay, we're right next door to Jeff's shop is Eclectic Motors, Carl's place. It's really a wonderful shop filled full of super cool cars, and he's allowing us to store our big stuff for just a couple weeks until we can get it on the boat and get it to Hawaii. So it's kind of sitting in the corner of his shop. I'll flip the camera around, and we got a little Daytona Shelby sitting on the dyno, and a whole bunch of other stuff here. And then next door is kind of a service area.
What are you up to, Brendan? I'm working. I work at.
Just kind of take a pass through. Super fun. Jag. Honda. Big horsepower turbo Honda. And then over here, of particular interest to me, 32.
A lot of those I would never be able to replace.
So yeah, this is a super cool place, and it is really fun story. Years ago, this was actually part of GPM Industries. We made hot tubs here. This was one of my first jobs when I came back to Holland after the military. So we made hot tub covers here. Next door, over there, is Jeff's shop. That was our office. And then I'm looking out the door here, directly across the street was the plant where we built the hot tubs. So, pretty cool. Everything's coming around full circle here. But huge thanks to Carl for allowing us to store our stuff here. Okay, so now we're back to Jeff's shop. He's built all of the small components for this Dome Bogie assembly. Here's bearing caps, a whole lot of bearing caps. 12 of these guys ready to go. Here's axle spacers and basically bearing spacers. Here's one of the lateral rollers. The other three are on the counter back there. Lateral roller housings all back here, and then a whole bunch of earthquake clips and pins, spring locators, the big threaded rods that the large springs will get tensioned with. Everything's there. And then in, let's see where we're at here, in the Haas here, old Haas. This is where we're at with with a wheel. So here's one of the big train wheels, basically. Everything is finished up to this point. This is all excess material. He's got to now turn all this away. So the bottom side is done, flipped over, and now he's just got to basically rough all this stuff out and do a finish pass. Now the clamps have to be moved to the inside to free up access out here, and ready to go. Just got in a whole new shipment of carbide inserts, so he's ready to go. Here's the other big train wheel, bogey wheel. One side done and kind of roughed up to this point, and then just got to be flipped and perform all the operations that are going on in the house right now. So this guy's just a couple of days away from being done. And then here's a whole stack of parts. These are all spring adjusters. So we've got 8 of each of those right there. And then here are the main axles for the bogey wheels. 2 of those guys. Okay, so it was a fun visit, checking up on all of our parts. We found 2 discrepancies where pins just didn't align. Tolerances are really, really tight on these pins for whatever reason. It makes no sense. But just a little touch up on a bore, and those things will be fine. And then everything is ready to throw in a crate. We found crates, same place that pressed our pin in all the way. So we got some crates ready to go. And all Jeff has to do is finish stuff up, throw a little rust protectant spray on, and throw them in the crate. And we'll get those things to Hawaii. You saw us freeze a pin. That was a 6.5 inch diameter pin. It weighed 250 pounds, and it had to go 14 inches down into that giant white weldment, and we made it 11, and it kind of locked right up. So we ran it over and shoved it in a 600-ton press and finished it off. So big fun. Super cool stuff. Just shows the capacity of West Michigan and what there is to offer here in getting things made. And we looked all over the planet to get a quote on having these things made, and I had to come back home to get it done. So pretty cool story. More content coming, and give me a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stuff.